Hello, my dear students. Welcome you all to Shri Jain Rank Zone classes. I am your mentor and your friend for the subject biology, and I will be taking the zoology part, that is animal science. My dear students, in the previous lecture for biomedical technologies, we have done the PA view of X-ray chest radiography, in which we come to know that how X-rays they are going to help in biomedical advancements to diagnose the preliminary stages of different diseases. Now we are going to start the positron emission tomography, that is PET scan. We have also completed the CT scan and MRI scan in the last lectures. So I suggest you to go through the CT scan and the MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, okay, from the last lectures along with ultrasonography. Now we are going to start with positron emission tomography. So positron emission tomography, it is basically the PET scan. PET is also a computer-based imaging technique but differs from computed tomography scanning. It provides information on the metabolic and physiologic processes of tissues and organs. So basically PET scan, it helps to diagnose any metabolic related disease. Okay, so the PET scan, it helps us to diagnose a, a disease especially involving the soft tissues and the metabolic disorders, right? The CT scanning on the other hand gives only the static or the anatomical images, but the PET scan gives the static anatomical along with the physiologic images of that particular tissue or organ. This technique involves the use of positron emitting. It's not position emitting. It is positron emitting short-lived radioisotopes. There are some radioisotopes, okay, which emit positrons like carbon 11, nitrogen 13, 15 oxygen, and 18 fluorine. These all are radioactive isotopes of the elements like carbon 11, nitrogen 13, oxygen 15, and 18 fluorine. These atoms are first incorporated into biomolecules such as glucose, amino acids, carbon dioxide, and ammonia, and then injected in very small amounts, traces, and that is why it is known as what? A radio tracer, right? Radio tracer means it will track down the anomaly or a particular difficulty. Either they are injected or they are inhaled by the experimental animal or human subjects. As the radioactive atom decays, it emits subatomic particles called positron, right? Almost immediately, the emitted positron collides with the anti-particle, that is an electron, because positron is anti-electron. Positron is anti-electron when it is positive electron plus E0. Plus E0 means plus 1 unit is of charge and 0 is of mass. Okay, so that is why the positron is considered as an anti-electron. So it will be emitted by the radioactive decay of all these radioisotopes. This collision releases the burst of electromagnetic energy in the form of or a pair of radiation, right? So because of that decay, the subatomic particles they collide with the electrons, and this particle anti-particle interaction releases large amount of electromagnetic waves. This double emission is key to the PET scan. Okay, so this is the principle of positron emission tomography. These radiations emerge simultaneously in the opposite direction and they strike crystal in a ring of detectors. There is a detector ring, and this detector ring or a crystal, it basically helps to detect the emission or the burst of these positively charged electrons around the patient's head, causing the crystals to light up. Okay, so these crystals they get lighten up, they get energized by the striking of the positron, which is an anti-electron. So PET scan or the positron emission tomography, it is a computer-based imaging technique which help us to diagnose the metabolic or the physiologic processes along with the anatomical features of tissues and organs. It is a better way above CT scan to diagnose a particular metabolic related disorder, because sometimes it happens that anatomical features they don't distort, but the metabolic features they get deviated. So it's very hard to diagnose the metabolic related issues. So that is why we have invented this technique, PET scan. This technique involves the use of positron emitting short light. Short light means their half life is very small. Okay, so like carbon 11, 13 nitrogen, oxygen 15, and 18 fluorine. So these radioactive isotopes, they are basically incorporated in some compounds like glucose, amino acids, carbon dioxide, and ammonia. Okay, and they are injected in small amounts or inhaled by the experimental animal or human subjects. As the radioactive isotopes they decay, they emit subatomic particles like positron, which directly strike with the antiparticle electron. Okay, this collision produces large amount of energy, which is traced or which is used to energize the crystals, and these piezoelectric or any other type of crystals, when they enlighten up, they produce or they reflect the you know uh, organ which is having some difficulty or abnormality. So what are the requirements during PET scan? That 24 hours before test, low carb diet, low carbohydrate diet, no sugar diet, no direct sugar, no direct sugar, and no strenuous exercise. No strenuous exercise. Second step is 6 hours before test, there should be no meal, no meal, and at least for day when at the particular day of PET scan, blood sample should be taken to check the glucose levels. The intraventral or the intravenous delivers of radioactive tracer. Okay, intravenous means inside blood directly the radioactive tracer is given. 60 minutes the tracer take to circulate through whole the body, and then we will take the patient to the PET chamber where the radiations will illuminate the radioactive tracer and the scan will done. Scan last for 20 to 45 minutes. These are the PET scan images in which you can see the different activities of the brain areas. Okay, specifically if we want to find out a particular tumor or some blood clot which is responsible for paralysis, hemiplegia, or paraplegia. Hemiplegia when the half portion of the body is under the paralytic, impact, and paraplegia when all the four limbs are under the paralytic impact. So this is a PET scan image. You can see the glowish, the part which is glowing is because of the metabolic intake. So because of the metabolic intake, the blood circulation is directly proportional to metabolic intake. The part which is highly metabolic active is shown here. Like this you can see, like this you can see. Okay. Now coming to next, a computer records the location of each flash and sports the source of radiation, translating the data. I mean, basically, this is digitalized to produce an image. To produce an image. Okay, into a 3D image. A metabolically active area will receive a greater blood supply than a relatively inactive tissue. Therefore, it will also get a greater supply of radioactive glucose and would appear as a brighter area in the PET image. Okay, as I have shown you in the last slide. For example, the darkened area of the brain indicates the damage from a stroke. Okay, like cerebro, vascular stroke, CVS, or a ischemic attack. Bright colors in the rest of the brain show normal blood flow. Thus, by tracing the radioactive glucose, a physician can pinpoint the areas of greater brain activity in the regions of the brain involved in a particular function. The versatile technique is used to study epilepsy, When epilepsy is a unsynchronized discharge of neurotransmitters which will be shown by tonic or clonic seizures. In layman terminology, fits. So epilepsy, schizophrenia, Parkinson's disease, all are neurological diseases, but all are neurometabolical diseases. Not only they are involving the abnormality of neuron, but also involves the abnormality of neurotransmitters. Okay, and drug addiction. Recently, the scientists in United Kingdom have allocated the color processing centers in the human vision cortex, which helps to process the color, differentiate the color, with the help of PET imaging technique. PET or positron emission tomography is useful in measuring metabolic rates, region regional blood volume and blood flow. It helps to diagnose that which part is metabolically more active, which is less active. The regional blood volume and blood flow. Areas of abnormalities like diseases and defects, whether neurological or neurophysiological. Identification of specific centers in brain which are involved in the color processing in visual cortex of humans. So it used to diagnose the invasive diseases like cancers and different other syndromes, right? Then is sonography or ultrasound imaging. So we will be starting the sonography or ultrasound imaging in the next class. Till then, bye bye, take care, stay safe.